Good evening, everybody. Scott with Pratt& and Associates Realty. Are builders building smaller homes? This is an article that I got today from Resi Club, and I can see totally why we're having such an issue with housing supply. Land costs are at their all-time highest price. As home prices are going up, so are land prices as well. So it makes attaining property for a developer a lot harder. My dad is a developer. My dad and mom both, before the divorce, they both developed properties. My dad still brokers land deals, and he has told me it is incredibly hard to find anything that's worth developing at a decent price. In this Resi Club article, they talked about how the average square foot for, excuse me, my hair, the average square foot for housing in 2014 was 2,328 square feet. That was a brand new home built in 2014. That was the average that was built. Today, that average is 2,036 square feet, which is not substantially less. I mean, that's 300 some odd square feet. That doesn't sound like a lot to us. But this is the first time that the average home being built today is not growing. This is the first time in history since World War II that square footage for new homes being built has actually dropped down, which is interesting. Well, the reason why is because the developers are trying to squeeze as much house out of the lot as they possibly can. Why is that? Why, with land sales already, or with land already being expensive, what else is causing this? A developer down in Charleston, South Carolina, interviewed by Resi Club, his name is James Hughes. He said that entitlement groups are essentially getting a contract. They're almost like wholesalers. They get the contract and then they sell the contract to the developer. But what they do is, they assign the contract to the developer. They get these properties, they get them zoned. They do that part of the value adding, the zoning, the engineering, but they don't actually do any physical work, like cutting the streets in, putting the lights in, putting in the sewer systems, putting in the storm drain systems. They don't do that kind of work, but they sell the paper lots to the developers for as high a price as they possibly can. They want to get their top dollar out of this. And what this is doing is it's putting pretty much like a middleman in here and is driving up the cost of developing a building even higher. So the builders are trying their best to squeeze as much house into as much small space as possible. And that's what these entitlement groups do. Let me explain what entitlement is. Entitlement is entitlements to a property. Now, it's not a political term. I'm not talking about actual entitlement groups in a political sense. It's entitlements are things like rezoning, site plans, where streetlights are going to be, how storm drains are going to be engineered, and also erosion control engineering. These are entitlements put onto the property that are then sold to the developers, which drives up the cost. When my dad was a developer, both my parents, when they both were developing, they did all the stuff, all the work in-house. They took on all the risk, and I guess those savings were passed on later to the buyer. This is our biggest problem right now in the economy, in housing and prices, are the fact that we don't have nearly enough supply whatsoever to get housing prices anywhere back on the ground. And this kind of snafu, this holdback for developers and builders is going to affect how they make their business and building decisions in the future. And you probably will see in the future, maybe housing affordability is somewhat better, but the house that you're going to be buying is going to be smaller. I have seen some really amazing things in the tiny home movement as far as efficiency of space, feng shui, energy efficiency. So some of these things could be positive. If you're looking for buying a McMansion and you want a brand new McMansion house, it may not be as much of a possibility as it has been in the past. But that's my news for the day, guys. This was an incredibly long video, and I'm very sorry for that, but I had a lot to say. But I hope you had an awesome day. Tomorrow's Friday. Told you guys you made it. You're going to be all right. You got the weekend coming up. But if you're in real estate, that doesn't matter. It's still 7 days a week. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a nice day. We're already almost 5 minutes. Good gracious, Scott.